the next session. So this is session number 6, Early Child Development. First 1000 days of life are not just important, they are decisive. So may I call upon the dais our chair, Honorable Srimati Sita Dhaatri Garu. Please welcome ma'am with a big round of applause. The co-chair for the panel, Dr. Shrikant. And the panelists, Dr. Sridhar, Dr. Anjali, and Dr. Santosh Kumar. And I would like to call upon Kashinath Garu to welcome the speakers with the traditional welcome. Kamakshi ma'am to welcome Dr. Anjali. Welcome Dr. Shrikant. So with this, I now pass over the control to the respected chair and the panelists.
So as the session is on first 1000 days of life, I would request our chair to give her initial opening remarks, and after that I think we'll start our presentations in sessions. I'll just take time out and introduce Madam. Madam is Sita Dhaatri ji. She is the Commissioner for Child Rights Commission. Very, very proactive leadership, and under her leadership we are seeing many changes that are happening in the sphere of child rights, and also I hope soon we are going to start a very big project under the aegis of Child Rights Commission. Over to you, Madam.
Very good afternoon and a little of the evening also to everybody here. I think you would all have to sleep. I think you had a very good lunch for a long time. You were not here for a long time. It's really happy. I'm really happy that they invited me here today for this program. And this 1000 days program, from the minute I came to the chairperson for the Child Rights Commission, I've been hearing this. Before that, I did not know basically of that. Now I'm coming to know how important. I know we do know as mothers, we do know that the early 1000 days program is very important, but we never used to count the days. We would say 3 months, 4 months like that, but never the days. But now every NGO, every thing has been taking concern and they wants to do this program of 1000 days program for everybody. So really, I'm really happy here. This means a lot to us. It is the base for the children. This 1000 days program, the base for the children. From the womb of the mother to the 1000 days where they finish the 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, they should have nutritious food is what our idea is. I mean, all of us sitting here is the same. So for that, we have to come forward, and I was just telling your colleagues upstairs, it is not where we talk to ourselves here. We have to go to all these MNCs where the mothers are working in those places. They are working, I know they are working for the benefit of the children only, but at what cost they are doing it. They are not giving good breast, they are not feeding their children and they are not looking after them, giving them nutritious food, leaving them on somebody else to take care of them. But in this 1000 days, if they look after the children, they will be better citizens. They should be happy with food. They should be happy there. They should have a very, very happy childhood, so that it brings memories back to them when they're growing up. We used to do this, we used to do that. Now children are missing all those things. Still, you ask my office, my colleagues, they daily one incident or two incidents I keep telling them about my childhood, how it used to happen there. These are all good memories. With this food, nutritious food, we should have a happy memories of our childhood, so that we become good citizens in this world. I am really happy to be a part of this. Now, when we are talking about what is good and what is bad in this, we all have know what we have to do. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yatha Raja, Tatha Praja. So in our department, in Child Rights Commission, because of her proactive leadership, we have very proactive members also. I've seen that their whole commission works as a team, and I am very surprised that in government usually you have pulls and pushes in different directions, but in the Child Rights Commission everyone is for the children of Telangana. That is the wonderful commission that we have got. We have Vachan Garu, a very important member of Child Rights Commission. Give a round of applause for taking time out and coming here. Sir, చిన్న సత్కారం వారికి కూడా చేయవలసిందిగా కోరుతున్నాం. Vachan Garu. Thank you very much, sir. And also, we have
Children, male ego is a children.
yeah. So similarly, sir, we welcome him. So after that, so similarly we welcome Madam Bandi Aparna Madam. Madam ki, and Shadcha advice karani. Mallikarjun. Madam, please come forward. Please. Big round of applause. Yeah, thank you. And we also welcome another member who is there here, Salita Madam. Please come and share. Big round of applause for Salita Madam. Aparna Madam is also very proactive. Her husband is an IPS officer, police officer. Big round of applause. Thank you so much. Now, on behalf of this session, we have very esteemed panel here. On my right is Dr. Sridhar. Sridhar is a health specialist from UNICEF. And Dr. Sridhar has worked in multiple states. I think I'll go on to the other side without blocking. He has worked in multiple states. He has worked in Chhattisgarh, worked in Assam, Gujarat, Karnataka, and lastly is the state I don't know if I missed some states. In Madhya Pradesh, there you go. And currently he is the head of health for Andhra, Telangana and Karnataka in UNICEF. Very proactive leadership, and because of his push and advocacy, we have been able to start a very large comprehensive lactation management center for the first time in North Karnataka in Bijapur. So thank you, for all the advocacy that you have done. So UNICEF, we all know, is a part of the international government, and they really direct and support union and state governments. And today we have Dr. Sridhar, who is leading a lot of work on ECD, Early Child Development, First 1000 Days of Life. And along with his passion for that, we are treading along with Dr. Sridhar, and also I would like to mention the name of Dr. Zeraman. I think very proactive leaders, both of them. So thank you very much, Dr. Sridhar. I think presentation by you will be first, and then we will go to Dr. Anjali Madam and rest of the team. Over to you, Dr. Sridhar.
And the session will Thank you, Dr. Santosh. Thanks for that humble introduction. So it was part of my job moving to all the states, and now finally, last 2 years I've been in the panel and having this discussion on early childhood development. When we say Child Rights Commission, we see as UNICEF, it's just extended arm of UNICEF in India. We don't see Child Rights Commission as separate from UNICEF. And I think maybe one day UNICEF will wind up from India. I think Child Rights Commission will take the flag of child rights and
I hope they will take, but you also stay.
we want to become relevant so that the institutions take their themselves. So with this, 15-20 minutes, I'll just try to orient you on what the science is behind the early childhood development. I'll not try to bore with the programmatic part of it, which is our bread and butter, but because I thought there are students from basic sciences, nutrition, even our MBBS students are there, students from physiotherapy are there. I think I thought it was more interesting for you to look the science behind it rather than the programmatic part. Before starting, I just want to ask a question. This conference is NurtureCon. Why it is not NutritionCon? We are talking of nutrition, right? Anyone? Maternal and child nurturing is the main part of nutrition. Okay. I'll just try to reverse it. Nutrition is part of nurturing. Nurture is not part of nutrition. That is why nutrition is subdued under this title of this conference of NurtureCon. So there is $1 million question which all the archaeologists, the neuroscientists, the evolutionary scientists try to understand. What makes a person intelligent? We are all intelligent, no? What made you have that intelligence? Is it nature or is it nurture? Till now, even though in our culture, in our tradition, we know the importance of nurture, but scientifically, medically, neuroscience, genetically, it was always, the argument was by the nature, it is genetics. The moment we understood the DNA, the helix model and all, the scientists were more focused on that it is the genes. If you have the genes, you are intelligent. If you don't have the genes, whatever you do, you cannot be intelligent. So that was the philosophy. But after 1990s, a lot of research coming in neurosciences now tells that it is not only your genetic makeup, even if you have genetics to become intelligent, you can become less intelligent if there is no nurturing. So both go in hand. You should have that nurture, the nature, you should have the good genes. If you have genetic abnormalities, definitely you suffer. You cannot question that. But even if you are genetically potential, if you don't get that environment for you to fully develop, even if you have good genes, it is of no use. So that is the philosophy of entire between the nature and nurture. So with this, we'll just go to a few slides. Next. I think it is not much visible from behind, but don't worry, I'll be explaining more of it so that it will not be repetitive on the slides. So this slide just shows how evolution happened. See, from single cell we are becoming humans. In between we had fish, reptiles, mammals. So this entire evolution we had over millions of years was more of physical evolution, less of your brain evolution. From one cell, multi-cell, then aquatic animals, then they developed legs, they developed feathers, they developed tail, and then they started walking up. This is all physical evolution. But when it came to humans, this physical evolution stopped. The further evolution in biology was only about brain. Nothing else developed after that. It was only brain which is developing. So from chimpanzees or the tree mammals to now the Homo sapiens, the difference is only about the brain, with less much difference about your physical appearance. Got it? You are on the same page? Now within brain, till the brain was around 1000 cc, we were called as Homo erectus. When it became up to 1500 cc, we are called as Homo sapiens. So now the volume of the brain has reached at its peak. So now we have not seen in the evolution in the last 1000 or 2000 years the increase in the size of the brain. It has stopped. So the next part of the evolution is within that existing volume of the brain, how are you nurturing to reach your evolution to its maximum potential. Next. So when I say the brain is now the part of the evolution, this is the human brain and it has 3 parts. I will justify this in next slide why I am explaining you these 3 parts. Human brain has 3 parts. The first part is called as a reptilian brain or it is called as a lizard brain. It is, in medical terms, it is called as brainstem. This part of the brain helps you to address immediate risks, whatever the animal or person faces. It is a fight and flight response. Somebody hits your stone, you suddenly run away. There is no emotions in this. That is why when somebody cries without any reason, we call them crocodile crying. Crocodile tear. Because crocodile is a reptile, it has no emotion. So he is not crying because he has emotion, just he is crying. So that is the reptilian brain. Second is the mammal brain, which is the limbic brain, which developed over evolution, that you have started getting emotions, the memories, the habits, and all. And the third is most important, the peak of evolution is the cortex. The cortical part of the brain, which is called as cortex, your language, your consciousness, your abstract, your reasoning, your cognitive abilities, everything is because of this. Now, what is important to understand in these 3 is, when the baby is born, the first and second part of the brain is already developed. But the third part of the brain is yet to develop. So if there is no environment for that to develop, they will be stuck up in this. So it is the responsibility of the society that after the baby is born, how can we stimulate this? The third part of the brain, which is the most important part of the brain, which differentiates humans from others. Fine? Now go to the next slide. So this is how brain looks like in a baby while the baby is inside the mother's womb. Mother is pregnant. If you see the lower part of the images, they are all animated images. If you see the upper part of the images, they are the real brain specimen photographs. I don't know how much you will be able to appreciate. In the early weeks of pregnancy, 26 weeks, 27 weeks, 29 weeks, the brain is very smooth. You can see the real brain, animated images. But the time the child comes up to 34 weeks of pregnancy, you can see these elevations and the, we call it as gyrations and sulcations in neurological term. This determines the number of neurons and neuronal connections happening in the brain. And if you see a brain of a baby inside the mother's womb at 40 weeks, and if you see a brain of an adult, it's almost same. Are you able to appreciate? It's almost same. So the most of development of the brain in terms of volume happens during pregnancy. Now why this is important? Along with nutrition, as a nutritionist, as a medical professional, what you need to advocate? Go to the next step. This is significance. Just by 40 weeks, 100 billion neurons are formed in the brain during pregnancy. Every minute, 250,000 neurons are being formed, and each neuron has 10,000 to 15,000 connections. So almost every single day in the first 1,000 days of life, 700 neural connections happen. That is the importance and that is the seriousness. Next. See, this in medical terms, during pregnancy, we say 37 weeks of pregnancy. Before the 37 weeks, if the baby delivers, it is preterm. After 37 weeks, if the baby delivers, we call it as term. Okay? Now, how did we decide it that 37 is the cutoff? Why not 36 weeks? Why not 38 weeks? I'll not go for more interaction because time is less. Just because at 37 weeks, the respiratory system of a baby is fully developed. So even after baby is delivered, it can breathe, it can live. So they decided that 37 weeks is a cutoff for preterm and term. But brain is not developed at 37 weeks. So we are looking only from the survival point of view, but not the intelligence of the baby. So 39 weeks is the cutoff where you can reliably say that the brain of the baby is developed. So now they are terming it as the term which was above 37, now they have made two cutoffs. Less than 39, 37 as early term and full term after 39 weeks. Why this is important? 60 to 70% of deliveries are happening in cesarean section. And they are all looking at this 37 cutoff for survival. So they are not waiting till 39 weeks. 2 days back in the newspaper, because of the auspicious days of festivals now, everybody is opting for elective cesarean section without even knowing that their baby is developed or not. Next slide. So, to have a healthy and intelligent baby, it is worth the wait. Please wait till 39 weeks. So, if you see a pregnant woman, if you are providing nutritional counseling for pregnant women, please counsel her to wait till 39 weeks. That will have a huge impact. And the last 4 weeks of pregnancy is the maximum growth of the baby compared to the entire 9 months of pregnancy. Next. Maternal stress. I saw one of the in the poster presentation above NIH study where the maternal stress is contributing for the cognitive development of the baby in future. It's very, very, very good. The most important factor during pregnancy is how to see that mother doesn't get anxiety, mother doesn't get depression. There is no stress at all. Stress has huge impact on preterm delivery. There is almost 30% of the preterm deliveries, one of the reason is distress. And preterm delivery is the major cause of mortality among newborns. Next. Dr. Santosh in the morning last session was asking you a question. The 32 sweet teeth we have, what decided? And I think you told that answer, that what mother is doing complementary feeding, what we are feeding, determines whether they eat sweets or not in the future. But there is one more concept called as, and somebody also told, while breastfeeding what mother eats, it determines what you grow. But there is one more concept, it's called as flavor-rich concept. If you want to have a successful complementary feeding, if you want to have your baby eat all the diverse food, it all depends what mother eats during pregnancy. If she has likes, dislikes, and doesn't have a diversification of foods during pregnancy, the same baby will continue at complementary feeding. And that is called as flavor bridge. It is at the upper part of the nose of the mother's brain. So, whichever part from there, the signals goes to the baby, and baby already, even before delivery, it knows what to eat, what not to eat. So, it is so much important when we talk about responsive parenting, the respectful maternity care during pregnancy, and all these concepts become so important. Next. Yoga during pregnancy. One of the most important intervention which we don't talk, even though India is the homeland for the birth of yoga. Every Western world is doing yoga during pregnancy, except Indians. We want fancy aerobic exercise, gym and all. But Harvard has done study with all types of exercise compared to yoga and decided that yoga is better than any other exercise during pregnancy. All the major maternal complications and newborn complications can be prevented directly or indirectly, and 80% reduction in stress, which is the major cause of all the complications, can be reduced by yoga. Now you see the celebrities, I think Lara Datta initiated, Sora Ali Khan, recently even Deepika Padukone. You can see Anushka Sharma and Virat Kohli doing yoga, Anushka doing yoga during pregnancy. So now celebrities are coming, but it has not gone into the grassroots. Next. The Women and Child Development Department, Government of India, has come up with a protocol for yoga during pregnancy, for first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. Mayo Clinic, which is considered globally the standard clinic for all the medical references, we go to Mayo Clinic, what Mayo Clinic is practicing. They have a protocol for yoga during pregnancy. Harvard has protocol for their own employees to have yoga during pregnancy. So nutrition coupled with these interventions will give maximum benefits. Next. So 2-3 more concepts I want to introduce to you. Who starts the labor? After 9 months, delivery happens on an average 37 to 40 weeks. Why does it doesn't happen at 8 months? Why doesn't happen at 10th month? Why it happens at that point of time? The evidence till now was when the baby size is big, the uterus stretches and it is not able to hold the baby for a longer time, then it starts contracting and delivery happens. So till now it was thought it is only mother who decides when the baby has to be delivered. But recent concept is totally reverse. It is the baby who decides when to come out. One of the important factors is whenever the glucose level within the baby comes down to less than 15% of its metabolism, so it is not able to get nutrient from the mother no more what it requires. It triggers cortisol from its brain, which goes to the placenta. It introduces the progesterone comes down, the estrogen goes up. That stimulates the brain of the mother. Then oxytocin is released, and then the baby is delivered. So in cesarean section, you are not allowing baby to decide to come out. You are deciding when to come out. Induction of labor or anything. And in preterm delivery, when you have other maternal complication like stress, even though baby doesn't want, because of stress, preterm delivery is happening. So we are inhibiting the most important neural reflex in the baby if you are delivering it before the term, before the labor pain starts. Next. I'm not going to the detail. There is a subtle talk between the brain of the mother and the brain of the baby in deciding the delivery. Next. Next. Yeah. Another very important concept from nature and nurture point of view. See, I told oxytocin is released. Don't go into technical details of it, just understand that oxytocin is released for the baby to deliver. Now you see when oxytocin is released. This is the level of oxytocin. At delivery, oxygen is this much. But the peak of oxygen, oxytocin, is 30 minutes post-delivery. Now oxytocin is required for protecting delivery. The baby has to come out. Now the baby has come out. Why oxytocin is peak after that? What is its job? Yeah. Oxytocin is the hormone which creates bonding. So if you separate mother and baby after delivery, this surge is lost. At this surge, if mother and baby come together, you can easily initiate breastfeeding. You can easily continue that breastfeeding, that bonding. Even it helps the recovery of the mother from the labor or injuries happening. So, not separating baby from mother. In hospital, if you see, after delivery, baby is taken out, mother is there, everything happens. Once mother goes to postnatal ward, then baby is brought to her. And if baby has small complications, they are taken to NICU, mother doesn't see the baby for 2 to 3 days. So this is the most important point from nurture point of view, don't separate baby. Next. So this is all I spoke about what is the science during pregnancy and during delivery. Last, after delivery. The first, out of first 1000 days, the first 300 days we spoke, the next 900 days. You see this graph, this one is at the time of delivery, this period is during pregnancy, and this period is after delivery. Can you see when is the vision and hearing, the sensory pathways are developed in a person? It starts 3 months before delivery. You see higher cognitive functions for man. It starts 3 months before delivery. It is not that after delivery you go to Anganwadi or go to school, you have hair cognitive functions. You are having it here. In Sanskrit, or sensory organs in Sanskrit, there is a very beautiful word. It is called as Gnanendriya. Gnana plus Indriya. Indriya is senses, your sensory organs, and Gnana. So it all develops. If you want to have that intelligence, it is how your sensory organs develop. Similarly, language. Language is not what the child develops after 1 year, it says baba, mama, after 1.5 years it starts monosyllable, 2 syllable, nothing. It starts here. And it's already started peaking at the time of delivery. And you see the first peak is in the first 1 year. Language is even less than 1 year, higher cognitive function is between 1 to 5 years. So if you want a baby to be intelligent, if you want a baby to learn more languages, so it is this period where you have to teach them. A child less than 5 years can easily learn 6 languages. It's the same, it takes 20 years efforts for an adult to learn a new language if he is not stimulated in his early childhood. So this is the importance, and this graph comes from Howard, all the research which Howard has done, and this is the classic math which we use everywhere whenever we speak about ECD. Last 2 minutes, next. So first 1000 days are more critical, not only critical, as the caption of this conference says, it is decisive. If you lose that, you are lost. Recently, when this current union election happened, the Prime Minister's office made a committee, Economic Forum Committee, to suggest the Government of India that if they come to power again next term, what are the priorities the government should have so that India becomes a Viksit Bharat, a developed country. So 30 top economists of India sat together, discussed, and after 3 days they came out with recommendations to Prime Minister's office. 10 things which government has to do in order to become superpower. Do you know what was the first recommendation? Invest in first 1000 days. And they called it as Buddhiman Bharat. You make your people intelligent, they will take care of their economy. So Buddhiman Bharat was the first recommendation. Next. So same in bar graph which I showed in earlier slide. Next. You see this, the brain of the baby during pregnancy. When a mother talks, there is a different part of the brain which activates. When a stranger talks, there is a different type of brain which activates. So mother should not be made isolated in a house when pregnancy. She should be talking to new people, not only family members. Then it will stimulate all the other part of the brain. Mama, Kaka, Tata, Dadi, everybody, friends, everybody should be talking during pregnancy. Next. So this is the Lancet continuum of care first 1000 days. What intervention has to be done during adolescence period, during pregnancy, during labor, and then after 5 years. Next. The highest rate of economic returns, this is what the economist told, comes from first 1000 days of life. Next. So that is why in Millennium Developmental Goals, we are talking about survival. Now we are shifting gears in Sustainable Development Goals. That is just not survival, but it is survive, thrive, and develop. So that no one is left behind. So these are the global guidelines for agricultural development from Lancet and WHO. Next.
That was a wonderful presentation. Very, very intriguing. Now, I would request, should we have a few questions? Anyone has a question for Dr. Sridhar on early child development, ECD, or any points that you want to say? Okay. So can we have Matradeva Bhava slides? Yeah. So what exactly is, can you switch it off? Mali slides are extra Mali. Thank you. So whatever Dr. Sridhar has just said, the same work is being done in a couple of our hospitals in Hyderabad. We are implementing this program. in Nilofer, in Gandhi and ESI hospitals. And this is the program that is being implemented over there. Just look at, of course, these are all now the AI generated images. But then the Mool mantra is that the mother who does yoga, who is meditating, who is highly spiritual, who knows what to see, what not to see, what to speak, what not to speak, what to eat, what not to eat, where to go, where not to go. I think she is giving birth to a very, very, very highly evolved child. So during my initial conversations with one of the greatest personality here in Hyderabad, his name is Swami Shitikantananda. He is a monk in Ramakrishna order. He had told that Swami Vivekananda, when he was being asked about how Swami Vivekananda became Swami Vivekananda, you know, why Swami Vivekananda is so great? It's not because he gave a great lecture in Chicago. He inspired every human being who met him. He was such an inspirational personality. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Tata Institute of Science, all these institutes which are there in Bangalore and all over India. One day when he was going to Chicago, on the deck of the ship he met a person. And he told, "Hey, who are you?" He told, "I am so and so, I run a steel plant and I am trying to manufacture steel in India." Then he told, "Fine, but where are your engineers coming from?" "I am bringing all the engineers from Britain." Then he said, "You should first establish an Institute of Science and Research in India." And that is what is Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, which was inspired because of Swami Vivekananda inspired Jamshedji Tata. And he told him that this is what has to be brought. 60% of Jamshedji Tata's wealth was given for only one institute. And that is Indian Institute of Science. And who inspired him? Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda inspired many other people. He inspired many people in US also. He told him, "Why are you earning all this money? Give it off for seva." He inspired many people. So Vivekananda told that I am Vivekananda not because of me, I am because of my mother. Because of my mother. And who is his mother? Who told that? Oh, very good. Big round of applause. Bhuvaneshwari. Mata Bhuvaneshwari. She meditated for 11 months that what kind of child I want. So she meditated that I want that kind of a child who is spiritually very, that sort of. So we had such a teacher in Nilofer Hospital. Our superintendent was there. Her name is Dr. Shailaja. Shailaja. She is the daughter of Dr. Loka Bai. Very famous gynecologist and obstetrician. Madam Anjali Madam is nodding her head. You won't know, your generation. So you know what this lady told Dr. Shailaja? When she was a house surgeon, she got married. And she became pregnant. Those days there were no leaves during pregnancy if you get in medicine. After 7 days, she had to come back for duties. No one told that you breastfeed your child, take leave. No one told. Everyone told, come back, you have to do duties. So she came back and she did duties. But for her second child, she breastfed her second child. And she did lot of yoga, meditation, everything. And her second child first child became a BTech engineer here in Hyderabad, but the second child went to IIT and he did his MTech also in IIT and he became a scientist in the DRDO. She told, see, I have experienced this in my own life. I can see the difference between my first child and second child. My first child always had ear infection, nose infection, throat infection because I didn't breastfeed. And I also did not have time to nurture when the child was in the womb. But for my second child, I had. So Swami Vivekananda was born like that. So he says, my mother, for 11 months she did penance. So it is very important that the mother does not watch dangerous TV serials. Your mother-in-law and this mother are always fighting. Who will use the knife against you? Who will use chili powder? And all these dangerous things which are shown. They are very, very dangerous. The mother is breastfeeding and she is watching phone. In the phone there are dangerous serials. Her adrenaline, cortisol levels are increasing, stress is increasing. But breast milk has to come. In the breast milk also there is cortisol and adrenaline. There are no happy hormones, no endorphins. What is released in the milk? Cortisol. So she is on one side, she is watching all that fighting, on one side she is breastfeeding. So what should you do? How should you nurture? You have to be calm, peaceful, happy, helpful. One moment of jealousy created an epitome of jealousy. You know, in Mahabharata, who was the live example of jealousy? In Mahabharata, who had highest jealousy? Who had? Very good. What's your name? Samira. Samira, give a big round of applause to Samira. Yes. Duryodhana had so much jealousy because for one moment Gandhari became jealous. She became jealous. Why? Why she became jealous? Anam. Mic iవ్వండి. మల్లికార్జున గారు మైక్ ఇవ్వండి. అనంత్.
I'm not sure, but because of babies.
Because of baby, someone was giving birth to baby before her.
Yes, yes.
Who was that?
Yes, I don't know.
And that her baby will become the king. Kunti, very good, big round of applause. Excellent. So Kunti was giving birth to whom? Pandava, Yudhishthira, first child. So Dharmaraja. So he will become king. My son will not become king. And she became jealous. So that jealousy downloaded into whom? Duryodhana. He became 6 feet, 7 feet personality of jealousy. So what thoughts, now what Dr. Sridhar was saying, what thought we get, what we eat during pregnancy, everything is reflected upon the baby. And this is called epigenetics, because epigenetics is interaction of genes. The genes of the baby interact with the mother. So it is very, very important. So next slide. So the mother, the baby is doing tapasya inside. He or she is hearing everything. Whatever the mother is speaking, the baby is able to hear. That's what our Dr. Sridhar was showing, language. Everything starts antenatally inside the womb. You have to talk to the baby. The baby can hear. You know which baby heard like that? Who? Abhimanyu. A big round of applause. Very good. Abhimanyu. Who else? There's one more baby. Prahalada. So this is all there. We understand how antenatally the baby behaves. Next. So this is what is being done in ESI hospital. In ESI hospital, this project called Aaryajanani is being run so that the mothers are taught about yoga, about nutrition, what to eat, what not to eat. Next one. See, these are the lectures. On the TV also it is being shown. And everyone is taught nicely yoga. That's one. So this is pregnancy workshop. Again at ESI hospital. Next one. This is at Gandhi. So look at that wonderful volunteer who is teaching same things which what Dr. Sridhar was teaching us. Similar education is happening in Gandhi hospital also. Next slide. See, who is this old man here, gentleman? You know him, right? Okay. So he also got some tips. Next one. Now see those cookies which are given to you. The cookie has ragi, jaggery, and a beautiful, wonderful drug. Ayurvedic medicine, herb. No artificial drug. What is that medicine? Shatavari. So all these things, good nutrition. Next slide. See, these cookies are given to the mothers at Nilofer Hospital also. Next one. Next. So this is the person who conceptualized this program. He is Swami Shittikanthananda, and she is Dr. Anupama, and she is in Ramakrishna Math. She runs this wonderful program. So this is a very, very beautiful first 1000 days of life concept. Very, very important. See, every mother who is pregnant is nicely doing yoga. See, so many mothers. Whatever Dr. Sridhar is prescribing, we are doing. Okay, next slide. Next one. See, so here we have another wonderful personality today who has come. He is Dr. Durga Prasadji, who is here. Give him a big round of applause. Sir is the chairman of Aaryajanani Construction, NCC, and they are supporting us for last 5 years for this wonderful project called Aaryajanani or Matru Devo Bhava. So mother is the god. Next slide. Yeah, so giving all these cookies to all the mothers. So the mother has immense amount of power. She can influence, she can decide how the baby has to be born, whether he has to be a Rakshasa or whether he has to be a Deva or he has to be somewhere closer to Deva. Everything can be decided. See, there are at least 100 studies. If you go and see, you'll find those babies who were not breastfed, have a very high incidence of becoming criminals. The babies who are breastfed have more love, affection, emotion. So because while the baby is breastfeeding, the baby is looking at the mother. The mother is smiling. The mother is talking and communicating. The baby knows how to express, how to smile. Every milestone happens on time if the mother and baby are looking at each other. If the baby is bottle fed, no emotion, very, very difficult, no nurturing. So it is very, very important that all these ECD steps. And one more important thing which I wanted to add, which we keep talking. In our Indian systems, we have very funny ways of remembering all our milestones. Very easy way. Suppose a baby while the baby is usually prone, the baby becomes supine, at a borla padda. That is a milestone. Then what happens? They do burilu. When the baby becomes, so you don't need to by heart any milestones. When the baby starts to sit down, then they give nice bobbatlu or this one. Then the baby starts walking. They start making daralu at home. So for every milestone, when it has to happen and what you have to make. So all the mothers in the community, they know when the milestone will happen. You need not have big charts, complicated people, like very big doctors, where you have to go only to doctor to know. This information has to be in the community. So through early child development ECD concept, what UNICEF is saying, we want to establish this sort of a knowledge in the community, in the population, again by reigniting our ancient knowledge and ancient wisdom. So both the modern science and ancient wisdom have to come together. Then we can take this wonderful ECD forward. So with these few words, I would now request Dr. Anjali Madam, a very, very senior nutritionist. Madam has worked in many national and international projects. Now she's coming straight from National Institute of Nutrition, NIL. Thank you, madam, for taking time out. And we request madam to speak about nutrition and ECD and her thoughts on this. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the patient hearing.
I can use this. Good afternoon, everyone. So, all the dignitaries on the dais and all the functionaries who have come over here, wish you all the best, and I hope you will take home good memories of this conference today. Actually, I wanted to tell you mostly on what is the importance of nutrition in terms of, up till now we had something on psychology, something on child rearing practices and so on. Now let me concentrate on the nutrition and food part of it when when the mother conceives a child. And of course we all talk about the first 1,000 days of a child's birth, but normally during pregnancy the maximum development of all organs and all systems will take place. So we always have a good diet during pregnancy, and we always say a balanced diet with a balanced mind is essential in the first 3 months, then again next 3 months, and then 3 months. And every 3 months we evaluate the development of the mother, and of course the doctor gives the development of the child. But here my reasoning is, in the first 3 years, many people have some problems. What is when the babies really get embedded in the embryo, there will be another problem, diet with regard to diet and the way they eat, and sometimes they don't feel like eating and vomiting and so many other things happen. And this is a psychological impact which occurs in the first 3 months of pregnancy. This is where one has to take very, very important decision on nutrition. So when we talk about nutrition, let me tell you, of course everybody knows it's a balanced diet, and a balanced diet consists of all proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and so on. And there is actually a set now for first 3 months of pregnancy, next 3 months and next 3 months. So here we concentrate on proteins, and we say so much of at least proteins in the form of vegetable and animal proteins, and those who are vegetarians will concentrate on vegetable proteins and how much and how to cook and how to eat. And when there are certain complications in the first 3 months of pregnancy, we need to see how they can overcome those problems by giving a lot of fluids and see how they can manage with the food that they are eating. And here there are certain, I don't want to talk about the psychological part of it, of any food and digestion and what happens, but let me talk about the physical development of the child. In the early first 3 months when the embryo gets embedded, that is the time where all the systems start developing, both neurological as well as digestive systems, and that is where the concentration on food is very, very important. Of course, I don't want to concentrate more on balanced diet, and it goes on depending upon the mother's weight, mother's health, and sometimes they turn out with diabetes, diabetes during pregnancy and BP, and these are the things where one has to take care with regards to salt and sugar during the diet. But normally, a balanced diet should consist of a good protein. It should be what I told you, it is a complete protein. There are vegetarians, we all talk about non-vegetarian being a good protein, but there are vegetarians. There need to be a combination of a cereal pulse in the ratio of 2:1. 2 cereals and 1 protein to get a complete protein. And that complete protein will help the embryo to develop in the first few months, and there will not be any other problems later. So this is very, very important. And diet during first 3 months is important for the neurological development of the child. And later, of course, the physical development takes place. And after that, let me talk about after that. Well, this is what we have in the, even during pregnancy, everybody I think goes to be on dietitians and nutrition specialists, you know, you have learned a lot of it. But there are certain instances in life, and especially among the society, you come out with various types of problems, not what we get it in the books. These are the things where we need to be very careful, and we have to find out what are they, and there are certain things which the patient does not tell us what is happening, and they do not talk about the food habits that they have. Then there are, if it is a joint family and there are parents, they go on insisting on not to eat certain foods, eat certain foods, not to, and even after delivery also there are certain restrictions. But now, for all doctor deliveries we say, for hospital deliveries we say there is no restriction with regard to food. Now coming back, let us see how the child progresses in life. Especially we think about the physical and mental, of course, Dr. Caesar and others have already said. So the physical improvement after childbirth, we are talking about 1000 days. After childbirth is very, very important. There are many people who go on medicines and they think that giving mother's milk is a fashion now. There are quite a good number of people who don't want to give, and with all types of antibiotics which are injected, even the mother's milk comes down and lactation procedure comes down. It is one of the most dangerous parts in the life. That is the period. Mother's milk is very, very important. The very basic thing is when the mother is giving her feed to the child, she cuddles in her own breast, and that is where the psychological impact of the child comes in. That is very, very important. And secondly, they don't, many takes it as a fashion. Not, of course, these days again we started thinking about saying breast milk important, breast milk, and we start about human milk banks and all that. But one thing I want to say in this to complete, I'm really against human milk banks. I know whatever you may say, because I feel that the mother should give to the maximum extent the mother gets the milk. Let it be years or months or whatever it is. Human milk bank is very dangerous because there are a number of people, especially in rural areas where I have seen, they want to give the milk for sale. Instead of feeding the child, they are taking out the milk and giving it, and that is becoming one of the, and all the necessary programs that we are running to improve the nutritional status of children, we are getting a negative impact because of this particular point. Of course, I may be corrected if I am wrong, but I just wanted to give a few things of my own experiences in the villages and in the lower income group. So the next thing is, that is why I said first year of life is very important to give the mother's milk, because she cuddles in her place, gives the child the milk, and at the same time she talks to the child, and then that is how the psychological impact ingrains into the child in the development of the child. And next thing is, after that, the next point is like weaning the child. See, after 6 months, they have to wean the child to any other artificial feed. Their education is necessary. What type of milk has to be given? Milk or it is to be any type of solid foods can be introduced. That is something one has to be very careful and make the child mother think about it and give them how to feed them, wean the mother from the mother's milk. This is one more point one has to be considered. And here what they do is, there are people who want to breast milk and they go on breast milk after 3 years they cannot bring the milk. And the other way around is they don't breast milk at all, but put the feed, and that food which is being given to the child is very undernourished type or it is not properly prepared, therefore the child gets into several problems. I was working with an organization in the rural West Coast in 1970s and 75. During that time, we had severe drought in Telangana, especially in the Aaryajanani and Mitchell class. And I could see children, especially even up to most of, I have found a number of Kwashiorkor, marasmus, and light blindness. All these are vitamin and protein deficiency problems. And we had to teach them. They have never accepted weaning from the mother, and they never accepted any milk. We had to prepare the milk and give. I used to stay in the villages for 1 week to teach them to feed the child with Dhaatri, to wean the child after 6 months. They never did it. And breastfeeding till a long time, it resulted in without any supplementary feed, it resulted in so many types of diseases. So we had to teach them, give them lessons on how to feed, how to give them types of how to prepare also we had to teach them and see that the mothers feed their children. So there we have started one organization, we said a dairy farm. Dairy, we said we took from Andhra Pradesh State Welfare Association, gave us some money. So we took about 10 women and we started a dairy, and a cooperative society, a dairy, and we made the mothers, I brought the cows from Mungo and put them there in one day, and rather like one village, Maladevapalli, we kept them, and they are supposed to give every day 1 liter of milk to the Marwai. It's compulsory. And then that milk will be given to all the kids who are sitting. We had beautiful results. The children were very active, very good, and that is how they started thinking of giving outside milk to the children. So these are some of the important points. I didn't want to talk about what food has to be given, but I wanted to talk about the other aspects of how food is not being given, or if it is given, it is given in too much. That is, both are giving certain nutritional problems in health and disease. So I hope that there are quite a good number of dietitians here, and many of them are my students who work here, and I hope all of you know what is community nutrition and how nutrition in a community is different from nutrition in a classroom. You need to sit with the parents, see with the society, look with the habits that are happening, and then we need to orient or change our practices to suit them. Then only they will listen to us. Otherwise, they will listen very carefully to whatever lectures we give, whatever things we give. The very next day, everything goes down. They will, that lady has come and told how can we do. This is a common thing. We have seen it for several years, my practice in all the villages, my experience. But later they started listening and giving the proper, that is what is important, giving a proper diet at a proper place and with a good affection from the mother and other people in the family, that will help them to morally and physically and have developed and mentally develop very well and become good citizens. I got one of these non-native children, 2 of them. One became an engineer and one became
See, because previously we did not have babies who were saved through newborn intensive care units, NICUs. Now in the NICUs we have 3 kinds of babies. Low birth weight, which is less than 2.5 kilos. Then we have very low birth weight, which is 1750, below 1750, and then we have extremely low birth weight, which is around 1000 grams. Now these are less than that. Even we are able to save babies for 700-800 grams. These babies do not have buccal musculation. They cannot suck or suckle. For them it is very difficult. For them, breastfeeding is not the solution. because they do not have musculature to support something. In all these newborn intensive care units, wherever they are treating babies extremely low birth weight, very low birth weight, and low birth weight, premature babies and IUGR babies, intrauterine growth retardation. All these 5 babies are getting formula milk. The role of a milk bank is not just milk bank, but it is comprehensive lactation management center. It is now the guideline of Ministry of Health that every newborn intensive care unit must have a comprehensive lactation management center. It's a guideline by the ministry. So in milk banks, we are not selling milk. In milk banks, we are not selling, not across India. Because this is a pan-India protocol. And there are countries which have done this. For example, in Cambodia, in Vietnam, poor mothers from the rural areas, they sold milk and it was taken to Sweden, Norway and European countries. But in India, luckily, even in the parliament there was a question and the milk should not be sold. So currently the practice is nowhere we are selling milk in India. Somewhere if it is happening, it is a criminal act without the notice of government it is happening. But in all the milk banks across India, it is helping newborn babies who are extremely low birth weight, very low birth weight, premature and IUGR. So this is what I just wanted to put forth before you.
I know, but I don't want to go into all controversies here.
Right, thank you, madam. Thank you.
Because of my own.
Thank you. A big round of applause for Ranjini. Chair, madam, wants to. Madam, the final remarks. Shrikant?
Forgot.
No.
Shrikant,
Any remarks?
Requesting Dr. Speaker to offer
good evening everyone, I'm Dr. Sushena. Actually, I'm the odd one out of here, I guess. I'm a general surgeon, not related to the first 1,000 days of birth. But I'm here as we also run a hospital. We have a 100-bed hospital here in Elgin. I look after that, and I'm also into public policy making. So everything, the esteemed speakers have all covered everything right from the morning sessions and all. I want to talk about the role of public policies in the first 1,000 days, as Sridhar sir has told us that the recent government policies are focused on the first 1,000 days of baby. It's really very good to know, sir. And we need we can put it in a proper way. We can tell that we require fortification of the existing health policies. So, for example, if we take the kit which we have been providing, the aim was to increase the institutional deliveries. We have been giving the government hospitals here in Telangana have been giving it to the mothers after delivery by different names, mother and child, or previously it was some KCR kit or something. So they have been providing items like some 15 items and a cash incentives of about 12 to 13,000, I guess. So the aim of the policy is just to increase the institutional deliveries. Okay, fine, we are fine with increasing the number of the institutional deliveries and all. But why don't we extend that to cover the antenatal care also, so that no mother or child should be denied of the privileges. We all agree, right? So there should be some kind of incentives given to mother who, according to the guidelines, I think according to the UNICEF guidelines and every other guidelines, there should be at least 4 antenatal checkups before delivery happens. So going by the stats in our state, after this scheme has come into existence, the institutional deliveries have gone up to 90% actually. But the antenatal checkups still fall under less than 50%. They are there for the developers just to get due to that what you say that nudging, as we say. They are there to get the benefits only. They are not worried about the ANC care. The ANC antenatal checkups play a very big role, as we have discussed in the first 1,000 days of life. So actually, the plan which we have adopted here comes from Finland's baby box. They have started it right away in 1932. They initially started with some few items. Now they have been giving some 50 plus items. They also give a pictorial books of how to breastfeed your baby and everything. It covers everything. Here I think we have some 15 items and all. So I think the government and the public policy seekers and all should focus more on this. It's not just our responsibility representing the healthcare. It's also their responsibility. So we need to improve more and more research regarding this, how we can get the best of the existing policies. So that's my only point. Thank you, sir.
I request our chief guest and the chair.
I wanted to ask you, if the mother simply she doesn't have milk to give the child, in some cases it happens, what is the alternative there?
The first alternative is what Dr. Santosh told.
That is
Again, I actually told previously, in previous session, but I'll repeat. First, if the mother does not have milk, we do everything possible so that she gets milk in the milkman. Because milkman now is a comprehensive lactation management center. We massage her, we give her a lot of good techniques, and a lot of things are done so that she gets milk. So this is first thing that we do. Suppose she is getting less milk, then we ask donor human milk and this less milk to be mixed milk. So that her milks, her antibodies, her own HMOs, everything that mixed in it. Was also.
And one more question, this milk banks, they are in these government hospitals. Are private hospitals also having anything like this? Could you name one or two please for me? Where you go? Because mostly people don't go into those hospitals would not want other people's milk there, and their mental thing is made, they are made like that. But where in the rural areas where people, they will definitely take, because we've been seeing in villages, if one mother doesn't have the milk, whoever is delivered with this woman, she'll be helpful and she'll feed the child. That is fine. But in these modern hospitals and with these so-called modern mothers, is it happening? Are they taking it and doing that? That was very question. Okay, so that's fine. Then that's fine. And they have told me to end the session. It was really very good to know all these things about the 1,000 days program and the 3 months you should be breastfed, the children should have been breastfed. What was nurturing and nutrition both go hand in hand. Yes, now doctor was telling us, if one is not there, the other doesn't work. If this is not there, the other doesn't work. So we should be very, very careful. I was just telling you, if you have a very happy mother when she is giving birth to you, definitely the baby will also be very happy when born. And if they grow up as happy human beings, making other human beings happy also goes there. So this is very important. Really, this is very, and all our upcoming nutritionists here sitting here, upcoming or already upcoming. They've already come to those stages. But really, it is very happy that you've learned so many things here. Srikanth was saying, oh, I'm just a general physician. You can also do more for us, sir. Because while you're writing the medicines and all those things, you can tell those people that tell your whatever, whoever you know, the people around you, that the institutional deliveries are good, and then nutrition should be, breastfeeding should be done. All this you can do when you're writing the prescriptions for them. So I hope you do that for us, and then you'll also take part in this bigger scheme of ours. and it's really very happy. Thank you very much, doctor. You showed me how my brain grew up with me, so I didn't know that I was doing all those things. And I'm really happy when my mom was giving me birth. I think she was very happy, so that's why I become a very happy human being. And I would really like to make a human being quickly also happy. And I prefer all the nutrition here who are learning, who are studying. When you are giving all these dietitian tips and all these things, you give them these tips to be happy in pregnancy. Anything take it positively, not in a negative way. I mean, not only for deliveries, but other diseases also. People give you a dietitian, what do you say, charts and everything. You come and say, you have to take 100 grams of this, and 1,000 grams of happiness would be the better part of it. So first of all, you must try that, and then these 50 grams, 100 grams will all do when you see the 100 grams of happiness. I hope you people, you children, girls and boys here, girls are major here, but I'm really happy to see 4 or 5 boys here also here too, that you've taken this thing. Please help us out. We are all working for the children. You people also work. Institutional deliveries are more important nowadays, but I would like you people to tell the government hospitals to have doctors there ready for them to give them the delivery. If the time comes and the child wants to come out, you will just say to the doctor, the child wants to come out when it wants to come out. The mother can't tell him to wait, the doctor is not here. The child won't listen, he wants to come out, that's all. He thought he wants to come out, he will come out. So these people, what they do is when there is no doctor there, they go to another private hospital and get the delivery done, because we can't stop it. I was always thinking it's in our hands to give birth to our child, but no. Our child has the thing to give birth to itself. So, this is a major point where the doctors are not being there in the hospitals and all these things. If the doctors are correct for this gynecology and delivery these things, definitely they all go to this institutional deliveries only. Cesareans will come down and the institutional natural deliveries will be done in this hospital. And I hope all this does work out very good for you and for us also. We'll also keep telling people wherever we meet them that mother's milk is good for health and all those things. And we are also going to launch a program in 1,000 days program in Khammam, Giljan areas. All this is being done somewhere around the city. And nothing, we want to go into the interior of it and try to do our program there. So I hope you all will encourage it and give us some best wishes. So we'll be kamyab rahe soon. Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me.
Thank you so much.